let's throw together a quick batch of just a regular standard dough recipe that I use. We're going to start out with 350 grams of warm filtered water. Okay, 355, that works. And then we're going to go in with 150 grams of active starter. Fed Eloise last night. I just used her for that double batch, so she's a little bit disturbed right now. But 150 grams. $1.59. Good enough for me. And then we're gonna mix this off of the scale so we don't break this one. Although this one is really frustrating itself, so I don't really know. I might have to look for a different option. We just want to mix up our water and our active starter into a nice, happy, bubbly slurry here. And then we're going to go in with 500 grams of flour. Oh, I did use the rest of this bag, I think. Yeah, I did. So 500 grams. Just love the bubbles. I just know it's happy to get some food here. Okay, 500 grams King Arthur bread flour. And we're gonna mix this up here into a shaggy dough. I don't add salt to my dough until after an hour of mixing my ingredients. My assistant is angry with me for not letting her go play in the sprinkler today, even though it's 64 degrees out, which is practically 90, you know. Right, buddy? I'm just gonna have to go in with my hands here. And my scraper. Oh, goodness. I think it would be more beneficial for everybody if we just made the choice to play outside. Even though we can't be in the sprinkler, doesn't mean we can't enjoy the beautiful weather. Yeah? Wet. Just gonna have to go in there, aren't I? All right, that is probably pretty good here. Maybe I'll have an assistant join me here for a stretch of Fulton in an hour. I think our mood is changing, maybe. All right, we're gonna cover this up for an hour and I will come back and do our salt addition and start some stretch and folds. Okay, we'll be back. Our first hour is up and we're back to add our 10 grams of salt. This is just a batch that I'm doing to have on hand, and now that people know I have a working oven at home again, they can order. My helper has emerged from her agitation with me for not letting her play in the sprinklers. So we're just gonna incorporate the salt in.
That's a lot of salt.
And then this is kind of where I like to where I like to kind of slap around my dough. And I do have like a little bowl of water here that you haven't washed your hands, young lady. You get on with your skates in the house. So I just want to make sure that salt is nice and incorporated. Move fast so that the dough doesn't stick to my hands. And now that all of our ingredients have been incorporated here, we're gonna take the temperature of our dough to see what level or percent rise we need to get. Oops. So for this batch in particular, my last one was 70 degrees. 69.8, so same thing, we want a 75% rise, which is 32 grams in our 2-ounce aliquot sample container. I have all of this stuff linked on my storefront on Amazon in my link tree. But let's do 32 grams. You guys probably can't see, my bad. 40. Perfect, 32 grams. And I do kind of try to smush it down just because we are looking for the dough to reach the top of the lid. That is the aliquot sample method, and that ensures that you don't have to really guess if your dough has proofed appropriately or is ready to shape. Back in with the lid for another 30 minutes and we'll come back and do our second set of stretch and folds. We're back for the second set of stretch and folds on our just normal dough here. And I just kind of put this together to have spare or have some on hand because I now have an oven that I can bake in for the time being. Okay. Do that. Do a coil folds. Okay, we'll cover this back up and come back in 30 minutes for our third round of stretch and folds. Okay, we are back for our third round of stretch and folds. Our dough is looking pretty phenomenal so far. Just get some more strength built up here. I don't even know if I'm gonna need a fourth. I probably don't even need a fourth round. I might just skip it and just let my dough chill. It's getting a lot warmer here. It's like 71 degrees now. Yeah, I've got some windows open, but I might just let her chill. If not, we'll be back in 30 minutes to do our final round of stretch and folds and then let her hang out for the rest of the bulk ferment. Okay, I'm back for our final set of stretch and folds here. This dough was coming along really nicely. So weird doing just a single batch. It's just so easy. And it's nice to do just normal dough occasionally. Sometimes these inclusion loaves just really zap my, I don't know, they're just more complicated. I like just the basic stuff once in a while. We'll get some nice bubbles here that you can see, hopefully. There you go. Just our dough fermenting nicely. And I'm now going to just let this hang out for the, I don't know, next few hours. I'm gonna have to look back at what time I started this. I did start later in the day versus the morning, just so I could take my time to do the jalapeno cheddar loaves and not be stressed with time. But we'll let her sit and check on this dough throughout the next couple hours. What we're looking for is that dough to hit the top of the lid, not that random piece, but the bulk of it. And that tells us our dough is fermented properly.